All right, welcome back. AI taking center stage at the White House this week with the announcement of Stargate, a $500 billion joint venture between OpenAI, Oracle, and SoftBank. President Trump hailing the investment as a, quote, resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential. Only hours later, though, presidential pal Elon Musk publicly questioned the money behind the deal, which led to a back and forth between him and OpenAI's Sam Altman on X, just the latest incident in their ongoing beef. For more on what it all means and where this all goes from here, let's welcome in Bill Gurley. He is general partner at Benchmark. It's a CNBC exclusive. It's nice to see you again. It's been a while, and we're really glad to have you today.
It has been a while. Good to see you, Scott.
You as well. So what is your view of Stargate?
Well, I've been trying to figure it out, and I think there's a chance that they may be too. It looked a little rushed on the announcement, and that would make sense, right? Because President Trump wanted to have some big wins early on, and so I think this thing got pulled together. I had a lot of questions. I actually posted those questions on X, and in the past 24 hours, I'll tell you what I think I've learned, but I've heard this from others, so I don't have access to a direct source. People are telling me it's going to be a propco-opco structure, which I didn't even know it was 24 hours ago, but it's like one person owns the property, the other one is the lease tenant of that property. They're potentially rolling in assets from Oracle that are in Abilene. There's a company called Crusoe that's been involved in the build of that. And OpenAI would be the sole customer, is what I've been being told. And I have three observations if all those things are true. One, I'm curious why SoftBank would want to be part of a private credit pool. It's not what they've typically done. I think it's clear from some of the back and forth with Microsoft that came out right around the same time that relationship, we knew there was tension. I think it's probably got more tension than even we thought before. And the third thing I would note is if it is a propco-opco structure, this represents a big lease liability or the equivalent of a lease liability for OpenAI. So this company already had probably the most complex cap structure of any company like it that we've ever known. And they're going to be putting one more complex piece on top.
It's interesting. I mean, when you use, the word like, suggesting it might have been rushed, are you suggesting that it's not necessarily what meets the eye, that you have some level of skepticism around this project, about the money, and whether it actually comes to fruition?
Well, I think a lot of people have voiced questions about that in the past 24 hours, and they certainly didn't release a bunch of details, so it's easy to be somewhat skeptical. I would also add there's been a lot of hyperbole in the AI market, and when you get Trump and Massa and Sam in a room together, I would expect some amount of over promotion. And, just because there's hyperbole doesn't mean these things aren't real. You can have prosperity and hyperbole at the same time. I think we have many times in the past. But yeah, there's a certain amount of promotion. We're trying to figure out the details. I think there's probably going to be debt involved, so it's not like they're out raising $500 billion in equity. And they're probably starting with a much smaller number and hoping to grow into that bigger number.
You also suggest, I think, that while many people are focused on Oracle, and the stock was up a tremendous amount, obviously, when the announcement came out, you seem to be more focused on the fallout, if you will, from Microsoft. And maybe there's more fracture between this relationship, and the fallout for it could be perhaps more dramatic that investors need to take note on. Is that correct?
One of the reasons I enjoy just digging and looking at this stuff so much is just how unbelievably interesting it is. I mean, this is better than a season of Succession, right? All these different players. You mentioned earlier the Elon Sam back and forth right after. We've never seen this kind of thing before. The deal between Microsoft and OpenAI, as it's been reported, once again, I've never seen it. Sounds like one of the more complex deals of all time. They have profit rights up to like $90 billion. No one's ever signed a piece of paper like that before. And so we don't know, it sounds like OpenAI wants them to convert to equity, and we have no idea whether they're willing to do that or not. And I think all of the things that happen on the field, whether it's Sam talking about AGI's coming and now he's backing off of that, or this announcement, I think they're all chess moves in a much bigger game in terms of them trying to figure out that relationship.
This beef between Altman and Musk, I'm assuming you know both personalities reasonably well. Are you all just sitting out there with popcorn in hand, wondering what's going on and where this is all going?
I mean, like I said, it's better than an episode of Succession. I think it's super interesting and nothing we've ever seen before. And we've moved to this world where these types of executives have this active voice on X, which gives us, this kind of real time view into it. But it's ultra interesting. Obviously, they've had a much closer relationship than I've ever had with either one of them, right? And that obviously is frayed.
But I mean, it seems to be at least partly centered on OpenAI's ambition to morph from a not-for-profit into a for-profit entity. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Elon has competing interests with his own XAI.
Yeah, those came after that beef was kind of uncovered, right? And you can imagine, like you've done well in life, you decide you want to start giving back, you help prop up a nonprofit to solve some type of world problem that you think needs to be out there, and then you turn your back, and next thing you know, people are putting billions of dollars in their pocket. I could see how that might upset somebody.